Here we go. It is Wednesday afternoon at 12:23. Thanks for coming back in, guys. We are near the end of our writing in the second writing unit. We've been following the writing in the Language Arts Mod 2. And like I said, we're at the end. We've already planned our story, come up with a story about a character who goes exploring and discovers new lands. We're at the point today where we really need to think about how to write a strong conclusion. I already shared my story with you, and I told you I didn't have a very strong conclusion. So I'm kind of excited about today's lesson so that we can learn how to write a good conclusion together. All of you who are on here with me have already shared your Google Docs with me, except for Lauren and Javier, and I hope that they're doing it right now. I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers that that's happening. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go into that lesson. And oops, that's not it. That was something else I was looking at today. Here we go. So today's lesson was 2.05. And when you got to page 8, you hit the writer's workshop. And it says strive for five senses. I called it SAID writing. Here they call it sensory details. Either way, what they're saying is you have to add details so that your reader can see the story, smell the story, hear the story, and really experience it like they're there with you. So this tells you to take a look at the sensory details anchor chart. Make a note of some of the words you can use in your writing, and they actually give you this cool chart with words like buzzing, sharp, musty, delicious, chocolatey, minty, tall, fluffy, and all these things about your 5 senses, what you might see, hear, smell, feel, and taste. If it were me, I think I'd grab some of these words, circle some that I thought were good, and put them in my story. And that's what they tell you to do here. Write about it, take out your narrative, read your story. In each paragraph, think about whether you can see it, hear it, feel it, and add some sensory details to make it come to life. If you've already done that, like many of you have, then you need to be thinking about the conclusion today. Conquering the conclusion. Junior writer, you have conquered the introduction and the body paragraphs of your narrative story. It's time for the final part of your rough draft, the conclusion. Read Carolina's conclusion to her story about Eduardo. Check off each element Carolina included as you read. Did she include the characters? Did she provide a solution? And did she create a sense of closure? And here's her conclusion. With Eduardo unsure of what to do, Blueberry comes up with a brilliant idea. He volunteers to fly ahead of the boat in the direction of the island. What a generous thing to do, Blueberry. You can see ahead of me and I'll follow you. So now we have 2 characters, check, check, and we have some talking that brings it to life. That's great. Just make sure you stay awake this time, and you'll notice with the talking, they indented, used quotation marks, had an end mark inside the quotations, then went back to the next line because this was a new person talking, indented again, quotation marks, end mark, and quotation marks, and down to the next line to continue. With his eyes wide open, Eduardo the explorer follows the flight path of Blueberry. Eduardo feels the wind in his hair, hears the crashing waves against the side of the boat, and has a smile on his face. This trip is turning out to be a real adventure. You guys, looking at this, should there be like a space right here, or is that weird? That's weird. I don't know why they do this. They're trying to teach you how to punctuate properly, and then they go and make it wrong. Technology. The ending of a story is as important as the beginning. Good writers give the reader a sense of closure by providing a solution to the problem. Did they provide a solution? Yep. Adding closure. There are many other ways to end a story. Share the lesson to be learned from the narrative. Oh, we did that last time. Remember, we said what I learned that day, or I'll always remember. Create a warm, fuzzy feeling by tugging at the reader's emotions. Something like, I think Mila's story ended last time with something like, that was the day, or my friend said that she was glad that I came up to her that day because that was the day that we became friends or best friends or something like that. Really nice, warm, fuzzy feeling. Link the ending to the beginning by repeating similar words or phrases. We talked about that one before too, didn't we? Today I'm 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then she did it at the end of the story too. Or end with a funny thought. Here are some examples that could create a sense of closure. Well, said Aunt Lucy as Toby turned the last page, Was it a good adventure? And this has last page to give it a sense of closure. Here's a different one. The crow looked down dejectedly as the fox marched away with the cheese in his mouth. Thanks very much, Mr. Crow. You do indeed have a lovely caw, although it does sound quite cheesy. Ha ha. It pays to follow your instincts. A fox is a fox after all. So that's kind of a funny ending. Here's Hannah smiled and shouted downstairs, Mom, I've just solved my first mystery. So that creates kind of a sense of cliffhanger where you want to read her next mystery. A large and splendid wedding was planned, and the prince and Snow White were married and lived happily ever after. This is how a lot of fairy tales end. And then they tell you to write about it. Go to your writing prompt about a character who goes exploring and discovers a new land. Make sure that you've included your characters in the ending, solved the problem, created closure, had properly formatted dialogue, indented your paragraph, and double-spaced your writing. So that's what we're doing today. It says, read the rough draft of your conclusion out loud to a friend or family member to see if they feel you created a sense of closure. If you did, amazing work. So right now, what I want you to do is open up your Google Doc on Mod 2. Mod 2 writing, it's in here somewhere. Where's my language arts Mod 2 writing? I think it's this one, but I could be wrong. I've got so many of these. Nope. That's not it.
It says laws at the end.
Oh, does it? Okay. Okay, laws. Mod 2 writing laws. There we go. I should probably title mine a little differently when you share all of yours with me. Is this it? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here's my really weak ending right now. I felt proud, but something in my gut told me she wasn't quite right. No, Mom, you did have something to teach me. I had a great time today, and honestly, I never thought I'd feel so strong and proud out climbing a mountain. And I almost feel like I discovered a new land. Thank you. It was kind of mushy, but my dad pulled me in for a big family hug and said, I guess we're all just lucky to have each other. What do you guys think? Does that have the characters in it? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Characters are in it. Does it have some dialogue in it? Yeah. Does it have a sense of closure, do you think? Enough? Some people are saying no. So let's see, how did they solve? They got to the car. I'd already sort of solved the problem. She bent over, honey, we're sorry we don't give you credit for your tech skills. My parents just kept looking at our screen amazed like we were doing magic tricks. When we got to the car, that probably should be a new part anyway. There's a new paragraph. When we got to the car, my mom gave me a big hug. She bent over. We were all, let's do this. We were all so relieved to have made it safely back to our car. There's my completing the story. She bent over and we have this warm and mushy moment. This is a little better. I think the conclusion is this whole last part, right? So I think it's okay. I'll keep working on it, and you need to keep working on yours. So I'm going to stop my share. Your job today is to finish your story fast as you can. Yes, Mr. Eli, what's your question?
Oh, wait. I raised up my hand by
If you have finished your story and you want to read it with a partner, come back to the main room and I'll put you in with a partner that you can read with, okay? Otherwise, I want you to go to the room and finish your story before you leave the meeting, if you can. I know, Mila, you're not going to be done. You've told me that. I got it.
Okay.
Okay? Go finish your story, guys. You can do it.
Cow partner.
I don't think I'm going to be done either.
Okay, Abby. Well, you do the most you can today, okay?
Can we just leave since you normally just put us into a breakout room and then end the meeting anyway?
Yeah, I just want to make sure you keep writing for about 20 minutes. Can you promise?
Yeah.
me? Okay.
I'm on my last paragraph, so I'm
Okay.
keep going.
Christian? Yep.
I finished my writing. Can I have a partner?
Did you check that checklist to make sure you had all those things in your conclusion? And also, did you see that I wrote you a note on yours of something to work on? Breaking it all into sentences and paragraphs? Can you go work on that?
I didn't know what you meant by that.
Oh, let me work with you on that, okay? Let's open yours up and work on it right here. Kainoa, did you have a question before I start working with Christian?
Yes, I am.